Welcome to the CMI Foundation tutorial. This covers all of the Chartered Management Institute courses that we run, including leadership management, coaching and mentoring, AI, consulting, and more. Please don't worry if your particular course is not mentioned by name. This session is relevant for you. Today's session is designed to help you understand the qualification journey from registration through to certification. We'll look at the assignment process, how to approach your writing, referencing requirements, common pitfalls to avoid, and the support available to help you succeed. By the end of the session, you should feel confident about what is expected of you and where to find help throughout your studies. Let's begin by looking at the overall qualification journey. You've all already attended your course, either face-to-face or online, and have decided to go ahead with the qualification, which means undertaking the assignment or assignments associated with this. The next step is to register for the qualification. Registration can take 2 to 4 weeks from completion of the form that was sent out to you at the end of your program. Once registration has been completed, you'll receive 2 emails, one from cmi@impd.co.uk. This will have your assignments that you need to complete and your tutorial schedule as well as some supporting documents. You will also receive a second email from the CMI themselves. Now, this contains the login details to their resources portal, CMI Thrive. As mentioned, this can take 2 to 4 weeks. If you haven't received either of these emails after this time, make sure to check any junk or spam folders, as it is possible for the email to be redirected there, especially if you're using a work email address. If you're still unable to find them, please contact us on cmi@impd.co.uk and we'll get that sorted for you. After attending your course, you'll move into the assignment writing stage. This is largely self-directed learning, and you should expect to spend approximately 40 hours of study per unit. This is a rough estimate for guidance purposes only and does include the writing and additional research time needed for your assignment. Depending on whether you are doing an award or certificate qualification, this will determine how many assignments you're required to complete for your qualification. Email that I mentioned earlier from cmi@impd.co.uk will contain this information for you. If you do have any questions, please drop us an email on this. As you progress, you can attend optional assignment support tutorials where tutors facilitate discussions around specific units and assessment questions. These are much smaller groups and give you the opportunity to talk to the tutor team directly. When your assignment's ready, it is submitted to cmi@impd.co.uk for compliance screening alongside a completed statement of authenticity. We'll then confirm submission to the CMI. Marking and moderation currently takes 4 to 6 weeks. This is important to note so that you can factor this into your timeframes. For those completing more than one assignment, you can do these in any order you wish to and can submit them together or separately. The CMI will then either pass or refer your assignment. A pass means you've passed every single assessment criteria and that assignment is complete. If your assignment is referred, this means that one or several of the assessment criteria have been referred and you have one opportunity to resubmit at no additional cost. Please don't panic if you do receive a referral, as the majority of people do go on to pass on the second submission. A third submission is possible on the assignments. However, there is a small charge for this, and we would check in with you before moving ahead on this one. Once all required assignments have been successfully completed, you will receive your CMI certificate via email. As a note, the certificate does not mention any referrals or second submissions on this at all. We're here to support you at every stage in this process. Before we go any further, let's clarify some important terminology that we'll use throughout the session. A learning outcome is the overall objective that the unit is designed to achieve. Under each learning outcome, you'll find assessment criteria. These are the individual requirements you must address within your assignment. You'll also see command verbs at the start of the assessment criteria. These are extremely important because they tell you exactly what type of response is required. For example, describe, analyze, evaluate. They all require different approaches. There is a command verbs definition document that you've been sent out as well, and this really helps with understanding what is required. Finally, the syllabus. This is the document that underpins the qualification. It outlines the content, knowledge requirements, and indicative content for each unit. You've been sent an assignment template alongside this, and this has been created using the syllabus document and is in a structured question and answer format. As a note, one of the most common reasons for assignments being referred is a misunderstanding of the command verb. So this is a really good place to start when looking at your assignments. So we have a wide range of support available to you whilst you're completing your qualification. Firstly, you have access to CMI Thrive. So this is the CMI's resources portal. This includes articles, models, theories, videos, journals, and structured learning journeys. Next, you can contact our support team whenever you need guidance. While they may not write your assignments for you, they can point you towards relevant resources and clarify processes. You'll also have access to the pre-recorded assignment videos videos that provide guidance specific to each unit. These are about 15-20 minutes each. Important, as mentioned earlier, CMI allows 2 submissions per assignment. If your first submission is referred, you'll receive detailed marking sheet explaining which sections have been referred and what needs changing. You then have the opportunity to resubmit. So there are several different support tutorials available. The foundation tutorial, this session, is your starting point and focuses on the assignment process and available resources. The assignment support tutorials are monthly question and answer sessions with tutors and are ideal for discussing any content-related queries. These are usually much smaller groups, so you'll have the opportunity to speak to the tutor directly. We've got drop-in sessions. These provide administrative support and help you navigate resources, deadlines, and procedures. And we also have assignment writing days. These are a full-day session and offer intensive support on a specific assignment, including discussion and dedicated writing time. These are run on a 6-monthly rotation, and at the end of an assignment writing day, you will come away with 40 to 50% of a draft ready to go. If you're struggling to get started, these sessions will prove really, really helpful. For level 5 and level 7 learners, we also have a critical thinking, critical writing session to help develop academic writing skills and critical analysis techniques. This is great for learners who may not have written an assignment before or for a while. It's a good refresh. We recommend attending as many of these sessions as possible and advise getting started as soon as possible. The tutorials are available for the full duration of your qualification. Now let's discuss compliance requirements. All assignments require a statement of context. This provides the marker with an understanding of your organization and your role without detracting from your word count. The section is also not marked. If you're completing more than one assignment, you can use the same statement of context for both. You should include the purpose and size of your organization, the structure of your department or team, your role and responsibilities, and why you're undertaking the qualification and what you hope to achieve. Remember, the markers do not know you or your organization. This context section helps them understand your examples and recommendations. If you're currently working in a role that doesn't fit with the responses you want to give, you can detail this here as well. You can mention, currently I'm doing this, but for the purposes of my assignment, I will refer back to my role as X in Y and provide details. The statement of context is a really good place to start on your assignment. It's a way to ease into it. We've got an assignment template as well that has a space for this. So this is the example of the assignment template. These have been sent out to you alongside the syllabus on the initial email from cmi@impd.co.uk. It's important to note that this is not a compulsory document to use, but we do recommend it for structure purposes. We'll go through that now. Before submitting, ensure all required learner information is completed correctly, including details in the footer section. You'll need your full name that you registered with, your CMI number that can be found when you log into CMI Thrive. This usually starts with a P, as well as the number and title of your assignment and the word count. You can also see on this document here that there are several things not included within the word count, such as statement of context, headings, diagrams, charts and graphs, and any references or bibliographies in use. The front of this document also confirms the word count. For example, this one is 3,500 to 4,000 words. They all come with a plus or minus 10%. Don't worry too much about the word count, especially if you're completing the coaching and mentoring assignments. The CMI are aware that the word count is very tight on these assignments, and if you do go beyond the word count, don't worry. The worst thing that can happen is that CMI will send it back without marking and you'll be granted that submission again. This only happens in very extreme cases. Just be aware that it may take a couple of weeks for this to happen, so something to consider if you're submitting very close to your deadline. If you are unable to find any of this information, please drop us an email as we will be able to assist. Delays can occur with submission if information is missing from these pages. The next page then has a table of contents, and this is just for you to include page numbers on. So here you can see the space for the statement of context and then how the rest of the assignment is set out with the assessment criteria. So the document is set out in a question and answer format using the assessment criteria. So you can use this document alongside the syllabus document, which contains indicative content and advice from the CMI on what to consider within your answer for each assessment criteria. We've also got a page at the end for references. Referencing can feel daunting, but there are tools available to help. We've got a link to one here, just advice in case you'd like to use it. Reference management tools can automate much of the formatting process and reduce errors. However, even when using automated tools, always check the output for accuracy. Ultimately, you remain responsible for ensuring your references meet the required standard. We'll discuss referencing in a little more detail shortly. As mentioned, it's not compulsory to submit in this format, but we do recommend using this so that you can ensure each question has been answered, your referencing is clear, and you have all of the elements needed for compliance. Let's move into assignment writing. The first step is to review the learning outcome assessment criteria carefully. Break the question into smaller parts and identify the command verb. Gather your key documents before you start. This could include the command verb definitions, the syllabus, the template, the referencing guide. Then begin your research. Create one master notes document where you collect information from multiple sources. Look for different viewpoints, not just one author's opinion. As mentioned previously, you'll be required to do some further reading around this. Once your research is complete, highlight or bolden the most useful points before you begin writing. This preparation stage saves significant time later. Planning is one of the most important stages. A useful technique is to place the question in the center of a mind map and identify key themes around it. Color code these themes to align them with different assessment criteria. Which assessment criteria have possible links to each other or follow on from each other? Use the component parts of the question as section headings. For example, what is strategic leadership? What is coaching? Select models you would like to use and identify which assessment criteria they are most relevant for. When writing, don't aim for perfection immediately. Focus on producing a rough draft first. Leave the question and come back to it later on. Expect challenges and barriers when you come to write your assignment. The biggest barrier is usually time. Set aside dedicated study time and work consistently on this. You know how you work best. If it's a morning or evening, or if you like to work through the assignment one assessment criteria at a time, or if you would prefer to write the assignment all in one go. Whatever works best for you. Make sure to set aside this dedicated time so you can complete the assignments. Most importantly, keep returning to the command verb and the assessment criteria. Have you completed what it is asked, for example, evaluated or analysed, or have you described instead? Take on board some critical feedback. If there is someone that could read your assignment or a question or two, they don't need to be an expert, but they will help to confirm if you've answered the question in the command verb. The assessment criteria itself should guide every paragraph that you write. Referencing serves two key purposes. First, it acknowledges sources and avoids plagiarism. Second, it demonstrates the breadth of your research. There are two elements here. We've got in-text citations. In-text citations appear within your assignment and show where information has come from, and then the reference list. So this appears at the end of your assignment and provides full details of each source. It should be collated alphabetically by author's surname. A useful habit is to build your reference list as you write rather than trying to reconstruct it afterwards. There is a page at the end of the assignment template for you to do this already. It means that when you've finished your assignment, you don't need to hunt down the references, they're already there in place. Doing this consistently will save a huge amount of time. So the next couple of slides provide examples of Harvard referencing. The CMI will accept any form of referencing as long as it's consistent throughout the assignment. If you're more comfortable using APA or any other type of referencing, this is perfectly acceptable to do so. There's a key distinction between direct quotations and indirect references, as detailed here as well. A direct quotation reproduces the exact words of an author and requires page numbers. Indirect reference paraphrases the idea in your own words while still acknowledging the source. So we've got examples here for books and journal articles on how to cite and reference these. We've also got this for websites, YouTube videos, and an audiobook at the bottom there too. So the audiobook is not a Harvard example, but it is an example that the CMI have provided us. You should ensure that books, journal articles, websites, videos, and any other sources that are referenced, they're done so using the correct format. With any source taken from the internet, make sure to add the date that you access this, as content is not static. This is just in case the CMI marker does any spot checks on your referencing as they're marking your work. Accuracy and consistency are more important than complexity for your referencing. If you're unsure, consult the referencing guide before submission. Moving on to plagiarism, collusion, and AI. Academic integrity is extremely important. Plagiarism occurs when someone presents another person's work or ideas as their own without appropriate attribution. It's really important that you do reference correctly to ensure there is no allegation of plagiarism. Collusion. This occurs when learners work so closely together that submitted work becomes substantially similar. For those that attend programs with colleagues, using the same data and information is perfectly fine, but the write-up of the assignment and the conclusions within the assignment must be your own work. AI. So this is the big one at the moment. AI tools can be useful for research, brainstorming, and idea generation. However, over-reliance on AI-generated content can create problems. Your assignment must reflect your own understanding, analysis, experience, and application. AI cannot be used to write your assignment. It can be used to suggest ideas, but never in the writing. You can't ask a program like ChatGPT to answer the questions and submit that. The CMI will pick this up and the assignment will be failed. This is just something to be aware of as you're writing your assignments. The assessor wants to hear your voice and see your understanding. There's a link at the bottom of this slide as well to the CMI's full AI statement if you would like to read it in its entirety. So this slide is particularly valuable because it highlights the most common reasons assignments are referred. The most common reason, as you can see, is the top there, is not meeting the command verb. We do ask for regular updates of this list, and this is always the top reason for referral. So it's really, really important when you're writing your assignments to consider what your command verb is. There is a different definition between evaluating and developing, or critically analyzing and describing. Really, really important to stay aware of that as you write your assignment. Number 2, there is little or no evidence of research or theory applied to the response. This means that there's been no theory and you've only used your own examples. Then number 3, there's little or no evidence of contextualization to the learner's own practice, experience, or workplace. So this is the opposite of number 2. The CMI are looking for a good balance between theory and own application within the assignment. Number 4, over-reliance on theory. So this would be you've not offered any critical evaluation or conclusions when required within your assignment. Number 5, the overuse of AI to formulate response. As we've just mentioned, AI cannot be used for writing the assignment, just in research. Number 6, work has not been referenced or cited if used. Again, this comes under the plagiarism that we've just discussed. And number 7, answers lack breadth and depth. So use the syllabus as a guide. This has a really handy indicative content section on each syllabus. They'll give you different ideas on theories and models so that you can vary what you're using and show that you've researched for your assignment. When reviewing your draft, use this slide as a checklist if possible. If you can confidently address each point, your chances of success in your assignment increases significantly. So you also have access to the CMI resources portal, CMI Thrive. CMI Thrive is one of your most valuable resources. It provides access to books, journals, articles, professional development resources, and personalized learning journeys that have been mapped to your assignment. Before searching online, check whether the information you need is already available through Thrive. Using high-quality sources strengthens both your learning and your assignments. We've sent across a guide on how to use CMI Thrive, and there are some video links within this guide to help you as well. And it's just some tips for best use, best practice. If you have any questions on this, don't hesitate to get in touch. Just to note, you will come across other assignments on this platform you are not required to complete. Just focus on the ones that were sent across to you on the assignment email from cmi@impd.co.uk. These have been chosen as they're closely linked to the course that you attended and the credit level required for your qualification. There's also plenty of other professional development information on here as well, and it's really worth having a look through and making use of the materials while you have access to them. So this is just a summary of the best sources for research. So these include the indicative content from the unit syllabus and assignment templates. You'll have recommended reading from the course that you attended, anything that the tutor or other learners on the course might have said. Recommendations from fellow delegates, so you can get these through WhatsApp groups, from tutorials you attend, from the course you attended. CMI Thrive, as we've just discussed. Pre-recorded videos, so these are 15 to 20-minute videos that are just on your assignment. And then we've got the variety of live assignment support tutorials as well that are available to you. Many of you may be in WhatsApp groups from your course. This is also a great place to check in with people who are also completing the assignment. Using multiple sources creates stronger, more balanced assignments. And we'll also send a monthly email out to you with the confirmed dates of any tutorials that will be relevant to you and your assignment. Here we've just got a few suggestions of books to get you started. You may be aware of some of these, you may not be. These are just recommendations. As mentioned, make sure you have a look at the indicative content on the assignment syllabus for your assignment, as there are plenty of suggestions there as well. There's no need to go out and buy lots of text. There was a lot of information available online or in your local library, as well as on the CMI Thrive resources portal. We'll finish with one final suggestion. Having a study buddy or accountability partner can significantly improve your chances of success. Regular conversations, progress updates, and shared motivation help maintain momentum when assignments become challenging. Remember, you're not expected to complete this journey alone. Use the resources available, attend support sessions, ask questions, and engage with the people around you. Thank you for your time today. Hopefully this session has given you some ideas on how to start and what to do next. If you do have any questions, you can email the team at any time on cmi@impd.co.uk. Good luck writing your assignments, and we look forward to receiving them very soon.